vortex. The vortex eats itself.
This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I am your host, Stereo Steve. You might remember me from college radio, or just as that annoying dude that you used to see at shows. But here I am, living my best shut-in life, making videos, talking about records, because that's all I do these days is watch people talk about records, talk about other stuff. I watched that massive Peter Jackson Beatles documentary. That was a revelation. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I actually went to the Black Friday record store day and bought one thing that was a promoted thing, and I'm going to unwrap that. And I got a stack of records here to talk about, and I'm just going to get into it here. First of all, I took down a couple of videos that I put up in the past of songs, because I got a copyright takedown for something that I put like 7 years ago, and just now they decided, you know, that I'm infringing. But it was just a song that I couldn't find that I put up, and I actually ripped it off of my vinyl copy. But I'm going to talk about, since I don't have the song up, I'm just going to talk about, this is a band called Beast. They were from, I think from Colorado. Their lead guitarist, main guy, Bob Yeasel. He was also in Sugarloaf on their second album, Spaceship Earth. And he was in West Coast pop art experimental band for a very short time. Wrote one song for them, a song called Watch Yourself. But anyway, Beast was the band he was in before Sugarloaf, and they made 2 albums on the Evolution label. It's got the shrink, and there's the back. I actually, like, more than 10 years ago bought these online when Mr. Yeasel, rest in peace, had a website. This is the other album. I think this was actually the first one. This was on Cotillion Atlantic. And this one, it took me a while to get into this until I listened to the second side, which has a couple of incredible songs. One, When We Rise, which they really should have released as a single. Just a nice kind of psychedelic pop song, real upbeat with some harmonies. And an instrumental called Strange Places Like Santo Domingo. Alright. But the interesting thing about these albums was they were recorded at Norman Petty's studio, who Norman Petty was where Buddy Holly recorded. And that's who gave me a copyright hammer for putting a song up off of this album. So if you want to talk about Buddy Holly or something like that, just be careful. Be careful. But, you know, no hard feelings. These are really good albums, so I wanted to just represent there. Alright, see, the next thing on my mind is that Beatles documentary. That Beatles Get Back. Peter Jackson, 3 parts, and I'm not going to go on and on talking about it. I'm just going to say, wow, wow. It debunked a lot of myths, and if you're a hardcore Beatles nerd, you're going to see a lot of stuff that you only read about before, like see it actually play out. And, you know, back in the day, all we had was the Let It Be movie. and the Let It Be albums, Phil Spectorized, and bootlegs. And I want to show this one bootleg because it's kind of hilarious. This is Beatles Get Back Sessions 2, and it's on the TMOQ, Trademark of Quality bootleg label. And their trademark on the label was a little pig, if you can see that. So here's what they did for cover art. John and Yoko as pigs. But now I'm looking at this and it's a lot of the same, you know, early takes, you know, Backspell Silverhammer, One After 909, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, probably off the Niagara tapes. But now I gotta put this back. Yeah. But yeah, a couple little subtle things that I caught in that documentary. One was where Yoko is asking George Martin where she can get classical music scores, classical music, sheet music. And that made me think of the story that she was playing piano and she was playing Moonlight Sonata. This is the story, and John Lennon said, "Oh, play it backwards and see what it sounds like." And Moonlight Sonata backwards was the inspiration for the song "Because" off of Abbey Road. All right, well, this is not original, but this was the first copy of Abbey Road I ever had when I was a kid. Had this label. This is the late 70s reissue with the orange label of Abbey Road. The other thing in the Beatles documentary, which, you know, I watched some people review it, and one guy was kind of slightly confused by this, was when they're playing Across the Universe, first they put on a record and they're listening to it, and then they start playing it, and wait a minute, Across the Universe wasn't even on an album until Let It Be. But in the UK, the early version of Across the Universe was on a compilation album called Nothing's Gonna Change Our World. It was a benefit for the World Wildlife Federation. And it had, I think it also had like the Bee Gees and the Hollies on it and stuff like that. But that's what they were playing in the movie, was a copy of that. And I don't think they actually did a new take of, listen to that crackling plastic. I'm trying to be all slick here. Unwrap this. I think what they did was they took that that version of Across the Universe and remixed it. Took off the sound effects and added the orchestra. Thanks, Phil Spector. Anyway, so I don't have a copy of that record to show off, but I want to show you a couple places where you can get that original version of Across the Universe that's not remixed like it is on the Let It Be album. The Beatles Rarities. And this is the UK version of the Beatles Rarities. In the UK, this was part of a box set, and it's basically B-sides that weren't on albums. It has Across the Universe, Yes It Is, Inner Light, you know, the German tracks, the German versions of I Want to Hold Your Hand and She Loves You. They're on this UK Beatles Rarities on Parlophone. There's also an American Beatles Rarities record. These came out like around 1980, I think, something like that. There's also an American Beatles Rarities, which is totally different with the packaging. Get a little butcher cover action inside the gatefold. Liner notes. Different songs, and this is totally footnotes. There's like versions of And I Love Her and I Am the Walrus that are literally like 1 or 2 seconds longer. So that's the American Beatles Rarities album. It's got You Know My Name, it's got that original version of Across the Universe, it's got the mono version of Helter Skelter that doesn't fade back up, and they give it a nice capital looking label. Alright, continuing on. Now we're going to talk about coffee. Coffee is good. I made a coaster for my coffee from, move it back and forth here, from the label of a record by the Coasters. Is that clever or what? Let me just pat myself on the back for that. Okay, so now we're getting to Black Friday record store day stuff. I don't want to buy all the things because where do you put all the things after you buy all the things, right? Got a few bargain bin things. I got a couple of used albums that I wanted, and I got one special record store day thing. So we're gonna kind of go down the stack here and I'll show you what I got here. This is Wild Man by Earl Bostic. Earl Bostic, late 40s, early 50s, sax player, kind of jump blues, early rock and roll. He actually influenced John Coltrane, but he was not really a jazz player, more of a blues, rock and roll kind of player. But this is on the Bargain Bin Grand Prix label. Most of his records were on King, but this was like $1, so I got it. The Troggs Vintage Years. Who doesn't like the Troggs? Wild Thing, With a Girl Like You, Can't Control Myself. This is, I already got the Pretty Things record on this, in this series. And these are really good. These came out, I guess, in the 70s on Sire Records, but it's a double album, jam-packed with Troggs. Alright, let's see. Casino Royale, not the original soundtrack, on Custom Records, which is like a subsidiary of Crown Records, which Crown Records is already bottom feeding straight to Bargain Bin, and to have like a sub-level to Crown label. And it's George Mann Orchestra featuring the Golden Trumpet. Alright. I didn't even listen to these yet. I just got on. This next one is a compact disc, and this is something I've been looking for a while. This is Joseph Spence, The Complete Folkways Recordings, 1958. Joseph Spence from the Bahamas, from the small island of Andros in the Bahamas. He was 47 when he did these, and it just says in the liner notes, a guitar master of startling originality. I mean, there's just something so real in the way he plays and sings in such a gruff manner. You need to hear the version of Jumpin' the Line on this record. But I've been looking for this for a while and I find it. Woohoo! Yeah! Alright. Dun, 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 dun. And now here's the thing that I am unwrapping live on this video that I just did not open yet. This is Magma. If you don't know Magma, they are the French prog band with their own mythology, their own language. The genre of music they call Zool. The language they sing in is called Kobayan. And this is 1974 BBC Sessions. They do, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce these right, but they do Theus, Hamtak, and Kontarkos. And let's see. It says they only made 1,500 copies, but my copy is numbered 1514. So that's confusing. What are you saying? What are you saying? I don't know. Okay, so let's see if I can open this without hurting myself. If I do hurt myself, that'll be a good video. Everybody liked when I got that electric shock.
Oh, son of a gun.
One layer off. And now there's another layer. Let's see. Okay, so now it looks better now. Okay, so now there is a, okay, so this is one of those where it kind of peels. This is one of those where it kind of peels off like this. I hate these because they get all gross after a while, you know, from opening and resealing it. Okay, this is a pretty slick looking record. It appears that the hype stickers are on here, so if I want to preserve these hype stickers, I could peel them off. I could try to peel them off and stick them somewhere else. That's what she said. But here we go. Here's the record. I don't even want to touch it. It's so smooth here. Alright, let's open it up. It's got that new record smell. I like the way they have this shadow with the dark trees and the tickets. So let's see, this was a live show and it was broadcast, I guess, something like that. Alright, so let's see what kind of fancy vinyl they gave me. Ooh, I like the black plastic lined sleeve. That's always good for preserving a quality record. Oh, look at that. Liquid hot magma. Okay then. Alright. That was exciting. If you're listening to it, it'll be even more exciting. But that's my video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, special prize for you. Subscribe to my damn channel. Give me a little dopamine, you know. Like this video. Leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts on the Beatles and Magma and Joseph Spence and Beast. Plastic. Okay, so here's where the camera is. Oh, going through the vortex.
Can serve no purpose anymore.
Thank you for watching, and peace.